Welcome back to the MHU football interview series. Today we have Monroe Sanderson. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing all right. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
All right. First, why don't you just give us where you're from and what position you play?
I am from Orlando, Florida, and I play defensive back.
And what led you to play in corner?
I would say like towards the end of my junior year, spring, I was moved to corner. I actually played outside linebacker, believe it or not.
Wow.
They moved me there spring, and I had a great spring. And then I started playing it my senior year and haven't looked back since.
Okay, and so did you play both ways before that, or you were just an outside linebacker?
I played somewhat of slot wide receiver, but I was mostly a defensive player.
Okay, makes sense. Did you go to a bigger high school?
No, I went to a small school, Orlando Christian Prep.
Okay, well, that makes sense why you're outside linebacker.
Yeah.
And did you play football your whole life?
Yeah,
okay.
I did. My brother actually introduced me to football. He's 6 years older than me, so I was like watching him as a kid. That's all I really seen him playing football, like through high school and stuff. He didn't play college, but like I was watching him in high school and stuff, and that's what made me like actually want to start playing football.
Okay, that's really cool. And did you play other sports as well, or just football?
I played baseball. I did track. I tried out for soccer.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have the endurance for it.
Yeah, it's a different type of speed and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you did track. I have to ask everybody that does track.
Mm-hmm.
What events did you do in track?
My first event actually was the 400, and I did not enjoy that at all. Then I moved to the 200, then I did 110-meter hurdles, and I stuck with the 200. I like the 200 a lot.
Okay, yeah, that's a much better distance than the 400.
Yeah.
You don't. That's pretty masochistic to do the 4 or the 800.
Yeah.
All right, so and so you played corner since your junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when you started getting scouted, or was that when colleges started looking at you?
Actually, I didn't really plan on like playing college football at all. I was just going to go to school and stuff. And like end of my senior, I actually had a good senior year, like interception wise and tackle wise. And I started to get recruited a little bit like towards the end of the season. And then like after the season, a lot of recruits started coming.
So it was a natural transition for you to move out to corner then, or was there some work that had to be done?
Naturally, I talk smack, so I feel like the position was made for me. I just wanted to, show them I can play it.
Yeah, I think there's only 2 types of corners, and that's silent ones and ones that never stop talking.
Yeah.
So that fits then. So they started recruiting you around your senior year. What led you to choose Mars Hill?
Coach Barnett, actually, he came to my school, and, like, he was a real down-to-earth dude. He spoke to me, the truth. Everything he was saying felt very genuine, and I liked his energy and, like, how he's, a God-fearing man. I feel like he's a great role model for me.
Okay, that's a really cool reason.
Yeah.
And what was your first impression when you came up to the actual campus? From Orlando, it's a big change.
Cold. The weather was completely different. My first time here, it was snowing. So, like, it was completely different. First time seeing snow, I liked it, but, like, it was a different change, like a different environment for me.
Okay. So one of our favorite questions when we bring guys on here is you get here and you start practicing or games or whatever. Was there ever an oh crap moment, like you realized college football was a little bit different than what you were used to?
Yeah, my first oh crap moment was when I came here for the summer program. I was guarding, like, I was a freshman, soaking wet, like 150 pounds soaking wet, going against, Craig Rucker, Harbison, Ferg, Gibb, like seniors and vets. And, like, the game speed was completely different. And, like, they'll just get on my toes. And, like, I was like, yeah, I got to get faster. I got to, get used to the game speed.
So watching you over the past few years, like, the improvement's obvious. Do you think having to go against people like Rucker is what kind of helped you lead to that improvement?
Yeah, for sure. My freshman year going against them, I felt like I was, like, going into camp, I was more advanced because I had those reps against them in summer already.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so corner's a unique position, right? So, like even you said, most people don't grow up playing it. You kind of get tossed into that position at some point. What is it about corner that you think people don't understand or they misinterpret about the position?
Corner is 85% mental. I think people think that, oh, he's big, he's tall, he's fast, oh, he's a great corner. No, like, any given day, any given play, you can get beat and it can be a touchdown. Like, there's no one behind you. Most of the time, you're one-on-one. So, like, you got to have a strong mental, like, you have to be strong mentally, and you have to, like, be able to take on the challenge.
So along with that, one of the things that you notice the most about corners is that even if you play a play perfectly, the receiver might still just go over the top or just make a great catch. How do you mentally bounce back from something like that?
Next play, short-term memory.
Yeah.
That's my saying. Throughout college, I tell all the freshmen that come here, you got to have short-term memory. Like, even though you get scored on anything, you can make a play, the next play, and it can change the game completely.
What's that feeling when, like, say you get beat or something, and then you do make that next play, you make that pick the next series? What's that like?
Like, you just redeemed yourself. Like, I would say, like, don't get so caught up in the bad, because people don't really remember the bad that much. If you make a good play and it's a game-sealing interception, they won't remember that you got scored on. They're only going to remember the game-sealing interception.
Yeah, and it's fun because corner is like one of those weird positions. There's very few positions like it in sports where it's so underappreciated, and there's so much talk coming your way until you do that one thing, and then everybody's like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah,
it's an interesting position to be in.
Yeah, I would say, like, it's appreciated, but it's sometimes underappreciated because everybody think they can play corner. Like, oh, I can do that. Like, yeah, come try it.
Yeah, that's so funny because I feel like there's so much more. Yeah, there's technique required to be a receiver. I got it. But if you're an unbelievable athlete with good hands, you can probably go run at least one route well. But you can't just walk out and play corner at a high level.
You can't.
Yeah, a lot of technique involved. All right, so do you have a pregame meal to prep you before a game?
No, I just drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water?
I really don't. I try to, like, eat light pregame meals and stuff because, like, I don't want to, because I'm doing a lot of running. I don't want to have a full stomach when I'm running every play. I play like 60, 65 plays, the minimum, a game, and I'm running full speed every play.
Do you feel like your cycle gets thrown off for a night game then, where it's like, now I got to go all day trying to think about it, or you just eat earlier in the day and call it?
It's kind of weird night games. Like, Thursday night games is kind of weird for me because, like, I have class. Then after that, I'm going to the locker room preparing for a game, and, like, it feels like I have to get ready for practice, but actually it's a game.
Right.
So,
yeah,
like,
totally different
I feel like it's easier to prepare on Saturdays than it is on Thursday.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have a post-game meal or drink or something you do right after the game?
No, but I like when, like, away games, we get Chick-fil-A. I like that. Chick-fil-A is my favorite, so I like getting Chick-fil-A after the games.
Yeah, it beats just getting the same food as normal, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Is there a game while you've been here that you felt like was your favorite game to be a part of, or something that was more intense than normal?
Last year, when we beat Newberry in overtime, that's probably my best game here. I wouldn't say I had the best game as myself, but, like, as a team, that's my favorite college moment right there. Like, when CJ caught the game-winning overtime touchdown and how we stormed the field and stuff, like, I'll never forget that.
Okay, that's a new one. We always get the last semester's Newberry game is like being one of the most intense games, conference championship, and then the Barton game is what we keep getting from the defensive side. Just because of how intense that game was.
Yeah.
Y'all played unbelievable in that game.
Yeah, that was an intense game, but, like, as a team, I feel like Newberry last year, not the conference championship, but, like, last year when we played in regular season, we beat OT. I feel like that was a statement game for us. Like, when we beat them, we knew that, yeah, we can win it all.
Okay. And so it's really interesting. Corner, like we talked about, is a really hard position. There's you and Tristan have been here for a few years now. What's it like creating chemistry between the two of you? Because you got to know where you and the safeties are going to be on each play. How do you go about doing that?
I think it starts in practice with the communication and stuff. Like, we go through an entire camp and communicating, we're comfortable with each other. I feel like it just come natural. Like, the communication comes natural in the game when we go through it so much in practice.
One of my favorite things about you guys in practice is you're always hyping up the next guy that goes in. Is that just natural for you guys, or is it something a culture you've created here?
I feel like it's a culture we created here. Coach Clifton always say, be positive. He pushes the being positive, and I feel like it actually helps the younger, the freshmen and sophomores, when the older players are, encouraging them. I feel like it gives them a little bit more confidence,
Yeah, it makes sense. So, goals for this fall, both team and personal, that you have?
For the team, I want us to get closer as more of a unit. I feel like sometimes it's the offense versus defense, and, like, we're separate. But I want us to be more together as an offense and as a defense, like coming to practice and competing. And then in the practice, we good job, or like giving kudos and props and stuff, And then personal, I would say just the basics, getting bigger, faster, stronger, working on my balance more, I would say. And yeah, just being a better leader. Because I know sometimes I can, get intense. Because, I like to compete. I'm a heavy competitor. Like, I want to be able to control, talk to the players. Like, I know players are different. Talk to them in different, like, rather than saying the same thing to, like, my teammates or, like, the defensive back group.
Right, knowing how to talk to each person to get the best out. That makes sense. Do you feel like leadership is one of the most important qualities you bring to the team, or what are some other qualities you feel like you bring specifically?
The ability to compete,
There you go.
I like to compete a lot. I feel like I bring the energy. Like during camp, I feel like we can compete against each other, even if we're, trash talking each other. I feel like when I trash talk each other, I trash talk, the offense and stuff. I feel like it brings the dog out in them. And like we just go harder and get better.
Yeah, and along with that, I talked with Jake about how you got to be a little bit psychotic to be on the defensive side of the ball, because especially at corner, you're hitting guys that are a lot bigger than you sometimes. Yeah. Somebody comes out on outside zone or something. What's going through your head? How do you mentally prepare for, I'm going to hit a 220-pound running back?
He's a man just like me. He bleeds just like me.
Yeah.
I mean, he can get hurt just like me, so why not give it all? Coach B always says if you go out there, trying to hit him soft, you're going to end up getting hurt. So why not just give it all?
Is that a mentality you kind of grew up having, or is it something that you gained playing over time?
I grew up having that. I wasn't always the biggest guy. I was one of the fastest, so I had to use, that to my advantage. So I always knew I had to use my attributes to, beat the bigger guy.
Yeah. So there's no more exciting moment, I think, in football. Well, maybe a punt return. But when you catch an interception and you've got a little bit of open space, what's the first thing that goes through your mind? Is it, holy crap, I just caught this, or is it you're already on the next move?
Run. Run as fast as you can to the touchdown, When I caught that pick six versus Emory and Henry, it was like I didn't really think, I just had ball, see ball, score. And I just ran until I scored. Then it hit me like when I got in the end zone, oh, I just scored.
Yeah, I bet that's pretty surreal, because on an offense, you're kind of expecting to get the ball. You're kind of expecting that's a possibility. And obviously on defense, you're thinking it's a possibility, but it's not really it's if they throw it towards you, right? I mean, you can't really pick if they throw it towards you. Okay. So what's your major?
Business administration.
Business administration. That's really cool. How much school do you have left?
Graduate next fall. So the fall coming up.
Awesome. Do you know kind of a general idea of what you want to use that for?
I think I want to go into operation management. I like the processes and stuff of businesses, and I enjoy the process outside of business. So I think I like that field a lot.
Okay, cool.
Or human resources, I'm good with people. I can talk to people and stuff,
Yeah. Is that something that you take pride in, is just the ability to communicate well?
Yeah, I feel like it's a skill that can take you very far, being able to talk to different people and being able to relate to them.
Yeah, I think that's really important, especially on a football team when you have 120 guys or whatever that you got to be able to communicate with, like you said, in different ways. Do you have any other plans after college, like vacations or something you're trying to go on, places you want to see? Or is it just go back to Orlando and get out of the cold?
Nah, not really. I don't have any really places I have to, visit. I'm just trying to get my life together after college.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're just going to ask you a couple of rapid-fire questions. Just give us your first reaction. We'll see what we get, all right? All right. Best flavor of chip?
Barbecue.
Barbecue, just like barbecue Lays?
Lays.
Because I always hear the barbecue twist Fritos as like a popular barbecue
those
flavor.
are good too.
Yeah, they are good. Go-to dance move?
I would say the Sharon. It's a freshman on our team. Sharon, he created his own dance. we do his dance. He do his dance. When you make a play, I'll probably say that's my go-to dance on the field, just to troll the offense.
Right. That is an awesome answer. All right. Sport you would want to play professionally if not football? If you could pick right now.
Baseball.
Baseball? What did you play in baseball?
Outfield. I wasn't really a great hitter
Yeah.
Yeah, I get struck out a lot, but I feel like if I were to train more in baseball, I think I can go pro.
What do you like the most about baseball? What is it that draws you to that sport?
The games. I like the atmosphere of the sunflower seeds, the gum.
Yeah. I always said one of the coolest parts about baseball is that like you're just kind of with your buddies and it's only intense for like seconds at a time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like every football down you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this again. Or especially at corner, you're like, let me do
Yeah, you
this
can
again.
chill sometimes in baseball.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Scariest movie that you've ever seen?
Insidious Chapter 2.
Oh, that is a good one. Okay, did you see that in theaters?
Yes.
Yeah, it's way worse. Theaters.
It's actually one of my favorite scary movies, though.
Yeah,
The whole Insidious franchise.
I remember seeing it in theaters, and I'm like in the front row because it's all that was left, and a guy next to me right when it starts goes, "Oh crap!" Right when it starts. All right, favorite snack when you're at the movies?
Popcorn, basics, you know.
What do you put on your popcorn? Just butter?
Just butter.
Yeah.
And with
Some
a nice,
people get weird with it.
Nice, you know, hot C next to it.
What are you sneaking into the movies as your extra snack? Most people are always taking something else.
Personally, I never snuck anything into the
Yeah?
movies because sometimes like I go to the movies and don't eat because I probably ate before. So
Sure. Yeah, I always make the mistake of just eating too much popcorn. All right, you have any shout outs before we let you go, man?
Shout out to my mom, my brother in Turkey right now, you know, in the Air Force. Yeah, shout out my family.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for being with us today, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for watching this interview with the Marshall University football program. If you all enjoyed the content, make sure to like and subscribe for more.